Hi, I'm Delise.
And I'm Ginny.
We know that parenting comes in seasons, and even the smallest wins deserve a happy dance.
Join us as we chat with moms in every stage of the parenting journey, fixing our eyes on Jesus each step of the way.
This is Blessings and Motherhood, because we believe that you can hold tissues and confetti at the same time. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Blessings and Motherhood. Today we're going to be talking all about our summer plans and hopefully giving you guys some good ideas for what you can do this summer.
Hey Delise, I just want to check in real quick. How have you been doing?
I've been good. Yeah, we have just gotten off of the National Events Weekend. So that was a jam-packed weekend where we came here to Southern Pines and we got to have commencement. We had the National Memory Master competition and we had a conference that was just dedicated to the Math Map. And during that time, my little guy was with my mom. So I kind of feel like I was away on some sort of a workcation and now I'm back, but it's good.
Nice. Yeah, that was one of my favorite weekends. And if you guys don't know what that is or have never been to it, it is an amazing weekend where we do celebrate all those things. The National Memory Master, we got to hear from Lee Bortons and Robert Bortons and some amazing mom panels and dad panels. I think those panels really were one of my favorite things because we just got to hear from moms and dads and graduates of CC just answer questions. But Delise, what was your favorite moment from that weekend?
I think my favorite moment was honestly during the commencement. So as you know, a lot of our families start pretty early on, like in the foundation's years, somewhere around 6 years old, and then they follow through to graduate their children. And in the commencement, all of the kids wrote their parents letters and the parents didn't know. And most of the letters were thank you letters. And I'm telling you, Jenny, it took everything in me not to cry. Like, I'm going to read you. I was writing down notes from what they said because you and I also work in social media. But some of the stuff that these kids said was just so moving. And to me, like, that's what you want. That's why you raise your kids the way that you raise them. Regardless of the choices that you make for education, you are trying to make sure that you can train them up in a way that helps them to know who God is, who they are, and that they're loved. And so, okay, listen to some of these things these kids said. Thank you for always being exactly what I needed. Thank you for always encouraging me to put my best foot forward. You will forever abide within the depths of my heart. Oh. Like, they were so sweet. And I think I kind of needed that flash forward as a mom of a 2-year-old. Just, you have to know what your goals are. And I can't promise that my kid's going to write me a beautiful love letter on his graduation day.
Who can?
But it was kind of like listening to Proverbs 31 when the children rise up and call their mothers blessed. It was really beautiful. So that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, you made me remember, too, the one that I remember, and I did not write this down, so it may not be exactly word for word, but it was a young man that was graduating, and he said to his mom, Mama, and they did. A lot of them said Mama, Dada, and they wrote that out. And that, to me, like, I hope my kids never stop calling me Mommy, calling David Daddy, because I know at some point, like, you've seen those memes where it's like, it goes from mommy to mom to bruh or whatever it is culturally. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm not bruh yet. But the fact that these 18-year-olds were still saying mama in a letter. Anyways, so this young man said, Mom, thank you for teaching me about Christ and discipling me in that way. And Dad, thank you for teaching me to be a young, growing man that loves the Lord and knows who he is. And I was just, that's what brought my tears, because he specifically told each one of them how they most influenced him. So I love that you said that. I really enjoyed the National Memory Master part, and I think that's because I did have 2 Memory Masters this year, and during that process, I was like, why are we doing this? Like, this is too much, because sometimes they did not want to learn their study skills. That's a big reason why we Memory Masters, to learn how to study. And when I saw those kids up there, and they were so proud that they knew this stuff, and you could tell that they understood it. They didn't just memorize it for a test. They, weren't just doing it to do it. They loved being challenged. They loved the discipline. After talking to some of them, they loved being disciplined to do that study, and they loved the extra time with their parents. So when Ewan was announced the winner, I just had tears flowing down because you know how hard those kids work. But anyways, that was what my favorite part of the weekend was. I also really loved the coffee with Lee time because this is a time where we invite all the moms that are a part of the conference to come have coffee with Lee, and they get to ask her really anything. And just to hear her heart and how gracious she was in answering, and just honestly very blatant and blunt with everybody about their questions was just really encouraging to me.
Yeah, I love any chance that we get to just hear her heart. And then lastly, another highlight was the international video. As you guys know, we have CC families all across the globe. And so there was a video that was created by actually the producer of this, and it highlighted what we are doing overseas. And that's a chance that we don't get a lot, to see the faces of the people who are doing CC in other countries and to hear their voices and to hear their testimony about what God is doing. But it was really moving, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and you guys can check them out. I think their handle's like at CC International. And this video at the end, you're not going to want to miss it because I think it had a lot of us in tears. So the end of this video, they take the classical conversations phrase, to know God and to make him known, and you hear it in all of these different languages from around the world. And y'all, it is so beautiful. So you're not going to want to miss that. We're going to link the video to the end of this episode as well. So watch till the end, watch that video, and just get ready to have your mind blown, really.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So that said, now that we're done, now that all the kids have graduated from high school, what are you doing this summer?
Yeah, this summer, we're really excited. We have kind of a lot going on. Last summer, I feel like we had a really peaceful summer. We did not schedule much. I think I let the kids do one summer camp each. We had our normal lake trip, and that was it. It was very low key. This summer is the opposite. We are traveling a lot. We have a lot of different things scheduled, but I'm excited. I feel like it's going to be a summer for adventure. So it's just a lot of anticipation right now, I guess. How about you?
Yeah, I feel like we swapped summers because so last year was jam-packed. This year, I just kind of need a slower season. So we're going to spend a lot of time at the splash pad. We're going to spend a lot of time in the backyard, literally just playing in the backyard and seeing what bugs we find. I really need to turn my attention to my garden, just like the basics of weeding. And I've told myself that this is the summer of paint. I really love decor and designing and redecorating my spaces. That's a way that I just enjoy being in a space and kind of celebrate the beauty around me. But I made myself wait until this will be year 3 in our home to actually officially paint it. Of course, the builder paint is on, but I wanted to wait just to live in it, and to see like, okay, what do I really like in this space? And am I going to do wallpaper in that other space? So I'm excited because my list is pretty long and I'm going to paint.
So what I hear you saying, and we kind of have this question to talk about a little bit later in the episode, but if you had a theme for your summer, what are you saying your theme for your summer is?
Oh, refresh, rest and refresh. When you say theme, it's gotta have a ring to it.
Well, I heard you
right?
say paint too.
Yeah, it's the summer of paint, but the summer of paint for my soul. How far do I want to take that?
I know.
I would call it a rest and refresh summer. So I'm gonna
it.
refresh my walls. It'll make my space feel restful, not to have handprints and smears in places I can't get them off.
Maybe I need that.
Yeah, summer of paint. Let's do it.
I have a pencil drawn ladder. Right where my stairs are, and y'all, it's been there, and I can't get it off because I have that wall where if you try to get it off with like a magic eraser, it just smears it everywhere.
Yeah.
And I've tried it, and you can tell where all the little hands stop because there's a line.
There you go.
But I have highlighter on my walls right now, so maybe I should do that too.
There you go. We'll trade houses, definitely.
Well, I know Leo is only 2. But do you do any type of homeschooling with him during the summer months? And if so, tell me about that.
Yeah. So like I said, since we had that conference and just kind of a busier month, I took a little bit of a break academically with Leo. I still was reading to him, but he's doing letters and letter recognition. He's very passionate about his writing. And truly, I don't do what I do with my son because I think this is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
I try to be very cognizant of his interests and what he's trying to learn, and I try to feed those things so he's curious about these things, and that's why I do this stuff that you wouldn't ordinarily do with your two-year-old is what I'm saying. So yeah, we're gonna go back to the letter flashcards. I have these really cool Bible cards that on the back it has a word that starts with a certain letter, and then they're dry erase, so you can like trace it and practice on that. So we'll finish the alphabet. He's almost done. And then we're probably going to do a little book and learning exercise that my mom did with me when I was a kid. And so that'll be a really fun exploration tool.
Nice. Hey guys, we're going to take a quick break so that we can tell you about our brand new book coming out from the Copper Lodge Library. English Epic Poetry is a collection with Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, selections from the Canterbury Tales, and selections from Paradise Lost. This collection includes an introduction that has a historical context written in, and it has tips for reading epic poetry, as well as footnotes to illuminate the text while reading. Wide margins encourage note-taking and having conversations with the book and its author.
So one of the things that the Copper Lodge Library does really well is highlighting the way a book can also be a Christian read. So how is English epic poetry a Christian book? Even in the less than overtly religious poems of Sir Gawain and the Canterbury Tales, readers can find Christian themes like courage, forgiveness, and the right use of power.
Now, the English epic poetry contains some of the required reading for the exposition strand in classical conversations, and this Copper Lodge Library edition was produced to provide a beautiful resource with the needs of the challenged families in mind. So if you want to learn more, head on over to copperlodgelibrary.com.
Let's get back to the show.
Love it.
What about you guys?
Yeah, so we kind of school year round, but it's very loose in the summer, and we've already started. And I do that just because I like to get ahead. It's not because I want to school every day, but my kids don't mind it. I actually asked my son the other day, like, what do you think of the homeschool or the schoolwork that we do over the summer? And he's like, well, it keeps my mind working, Mom. I don't mind it at all. And in the summer, it takes significantly less time for them because it's not a lot. We always read, of course. Reading, you can't get away from that. And I let them really read whatever they want in the summers. Sometimes during the school year, I do want them to read something that's CC cycle specific, but in the summer, I just let them kind of choose what they want to read. And then we always do something with math. This summer, we're actually focusing on getting faster at our math skills. So I'm not going to introduce anything new to them, but we're going to be getting faster at our addition, our subtraction, our multiplication, and our division. We've got some math flashcards that Banks is working on because next year he wants to memory master already again, and he goes from that age where you can skip count and sing the skip counting songs to where he has to now recite the math facts. One times one is one. One times two is two. So he's going to be practicing that this summer in some fun ways.
Yeah.
Though. And we still have our Bible time every morning. So that is one thing I love to keep during the summer months is when we wake up, we eat our breakfast and do some chores, and then we have our morning time. And so we're going to stick with that. And I'm super excited. We're working on some of the catechism questions. Cool. I did this years ago. I love the catechism questions. And it's funny that my older kids remember some of them, but Lincoln has never heard them. So we've been starting just the first few. And, if you've ever done the catechisms, like the first one is, who made you? God. What else did God make? Everything. Why did God make everything? For his glory. And so we've been doing that. And so now Lincoln, my 3-year-old, comes up to me and he says, Mommy, who made you? And it's just the sweetest thing. I'm so excited to do that with him. And then we're also just learning more about the Bible. Yeah. I've never taken the time to just do that. So they're learning, what are the books of the law? What are the books of history? What are the books of poetry? Things like that. And cool. I have these little flashcards that tell a little bit about that. So yeah, we school year round.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so important to just keep learning. And I think, we talk a lot about wanting to become lifelong learners, but sometimes it is tempting to want to fit that into a season and then to flip it off. Like your brain doesn't want to learn in the summertime. And it's true that you can change the way that you learn. And yes, taking a rest break or taking a rest or taking a break is important, but we're always learning and we're always growing, and that's part of what makes us feel so alive. So I love that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, I think sometimes just doing something different. It's like you said, it's still learning.
Yeah.
It's just in a different way and changing things up, and we don't have to wait for the summer months to do that either.
Right.
We do that several times throughout the year, honestly, and we switch it up. The summer is just more fun because we do go outside a lot more. We try to do everything outside, even if let's write out something or do a worksheet. I do like worksheets. My kids like worksheets. Believe it or not, they do. We'll take it outside in the summer months.
That's cool. Okay, so I also want some activity ideas because I know you've been around. Yeah. You've been around longer than I have in this motherhood thing. So what are some really good just go-to activities?
Yeah. So I am not one of those moms that's very crafty and has all these things on hand. So what we do, we literally dig in the dirt. We go outside and they find sticks and they start digging. I have invested in some gardening tools. Cool. Thanks to Delise right here, guys. Seriously. She helped me create a little bed last summer and I got some gardening tools. So they have those things. But we dig in the dirt and they make fairy houses right now is a big thing for my girls. They love to build forts inside the house. I don't love always for them to build forts inside, but it's something really fun for them, and they all four do it together. Banks is 9, Lincoln is 3, and they're building forts together. So that's a good activity on a rainy day, and I try not to limit what they use for their forts. As much as I can, they can use the blankets, the pillows. They use books to keep the blankets on top of, and I know that the books might fall, but they've got to learn that for themselves. The one thing they tried to use once, though, was my weights that I exercise with.
Oh, no.
And they had like a 10-pound weight on top of a blanket, and all of a sudden I hear this boom, and of course the weight fell. Luckily, it didn't fall on anyone, but I have since learned my lesson. There's certain things I have to tell them stay away from. But those are some things we love. I wrote some of these down. And one of my favorite things that started last summer, and this is, I guess, because my kids are now getting older, was our front porch conversations. We don't really have a large back porch, so all of our outdoor patio things are on the front porch. So I love to sit out there no matter what. And my kids will sit there with me, too. They're not necessarily playing. It's amazing how they literally just want to sit with me. But it's so good for conversations. The things we talk about, sometimes we go deep for their age, and sometimes it's, what do you want to do tomorrow? But those are really some of my favorite things to do in the summer. It's just all last-minute things.
That's so cool.
How about you? I know you have a lot of cool little ideas that you do with Leo.
So I was listening to you and I was trying to think. I'm like, okay, I do want her ideas. But I also used to be an art teacher for kids. For years I did that, and that was super fun. And then I also was a music and movement teacher, so I have a lot of little games that I can play or stories that I have memorized that are attached to this huge activity you can do. So you were actually jogging my memory on a lot of things. One of the things I remembered was cyanotype. Have you ever done this?
Say that again?
Cyanotype.
I don't know that.
It's the original form of like photography. And some people call them sun prints, but you can do like an official cyanotype, which frankly, to me, looks a little bit cooler than just a sun print. And what you do is you get either cyanotype paper, or you can buy it online, or you can get a solution. And then you can put that on anything, any porous item. So whether that's like fabric, a t-shirt, a piece of paper, and then you make this blue on blue white print of anything that you can find. And it is, guys, Google this. It is absolutely incredible to see the shadows and the multi-dimensions in these different items. And so what I would do with kids is we'd go outside, we'd grab things from outside in the yard, and then we would make these cyanotype prints and set them out and then rinse them in cold water, and you feel like you're developing the pictures. So Leo is finally at the point where he can follow a process like that. So I'm really excited to do that. Another really easy, fun activity I want to do with him this summer is shaving cream art. Have you done that?
I've seen it done, yeah.
Have you done it with the food coloring?
I think
like
I dyed eggs with that before.
Okay.
Shaving cream, whipped cream, shaving cream, something like that.
Yeah, probably shaving cream. Yeah, that's a really fun one. Again, you can find details for that online, but I love marbling with that one. And then the other day, it was raining, and my kid really likes to play with water. So we did swimming inside, and I filled up the pool, and I put on my I filled up the tub, but we called it the pool. And I put on my bathing suit, and we put all our pool toys in the tub, and we both got in. And for him, that was like, what? And he was wearing his swim trunks too. So it was a very normal experience that we kind of just made magical. And I turned the water blue, and and we went fishing with our little nets and stuff. And it was just a really fun moment, taking something that was very normal that could have been a drab day for him because he wished he could be at the pool, but just making it special. So I'm trying to come up with ways to add wonder in the normal.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, this is something else that happened the other day that I hope I get to do more, is taking stuff outside that I would normally do inside. So last week, I really wanted to get some sewing done. Ordinarily, I would be like, hey, let me set you up in front of the TV so I can get this sewing done and you sit still. Instead, I just got an extension cord and brought my machine out to the porch. And then he played, and I was in this very fun setting doing my sewing. And it was just fun. So I'm just trying to think of other ways that I can kind of couple things that I need to do with really fun experiences. So
yeah, that's fun. And you made me think too, doing things with your kids, I think, is so key. Getting in there physically in the tub with your bathing suit on, I think it's something we don't always do as moms, right?
Yeah.
We're like, well, let me get you something to do because I need to do this. But I think this summer, and I was thinking about this earlier, I really want to focus on doing it with my kids. If they say, Mommy, come do this with me, I want to be intentional and say, okay, I'm going to drop whatever I have to do, whether I have to get it done or not, and just do it.
yeah.
Jump in there with them. Put my bathing suit on, and we're going to the beach later in June. Get in and go ride the waves with them. It's not my favorite thing to do, but they want me to do it with them. And kind of just put what I enjoy aside and really focus in on them, because I think that is where the magic is. When you were talking about magic earlier, the magic is us getting in there and doing it with them to show them that they are more important than anything.
Yeah, and sometimes it's also the way you respond. Like I've started trying to get myself, instead of just saying, no, I can't do that right now. Do you want to do this with me? That's something that Leo often says. Can we do this together? I was like, yes, I want to do that with you in just a minute. Yes, I do want to do that with you. It's not, no, I don't want to do that, or no, I can't do that. It might just be that I can't do it now, but yes, I will in a minute. And I think even that can change the way that they think about us interacting with them. It's not, Mommy has all this stuff to do and sometimes she wants to spend time with me. It's, Mom wants to spend time with me and she has a lot of things that she does. And so she's going to find a way to spend time with me. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Is there anything throughout the summer months, Delise, that you struggle with as a mom? Because summer's fun, right? We all know, we love to talk about the fun things, but we do struggle with things.
Yeah. I mean, I will definitely admit as if it's a secret. I will say that I still very much feel like a new mom. So I'm not quite sure if the struggles I've had in the past 2 years will even apply to the future, if that makes sense. But something that I often struggle with is feeling a lack of structure. And I know that is important for my son and for me, even if I wasn't a mom, having structure is important. So I both struggle with feeling like in the summertime there isn't enough structure. And then on the other hand, feeling like I need to put too much structure into times that can just be open-ended, and that would make it better. So finding that that good balance between having a routine and having a plan.
Yeah, because some kids really thrive on having that routine. And moms, we thrive on having a routine. And that's kind of what I thought as well, is going from that balance between, I want to be flexible so that we can go on a random play date, but I also need a little bit of structure, because something I struggle with is I feel like we have all this time, but then we really don't, because I feel like I have to say no to a lot of the play dates we get asked to do because, oh no, we're already doing something. And I struggle with that because all year I'm like, oh, we can't have a play date. We have schoolwork to do or these lessons to get to or something. And I'm like, just wait till summer. We'll have all the play dates. And then I'm like, wait, no, we won't, because I've scheduled too much. So finding that balance is a struggle. And I can already see that being a struggle this summer because, like I said, we're doing a lot of traveling. So when we're home, I do want to make sure we're being super intentional with our community because we love our community. I miss those people. I miss the moms that I get to hang out with on a regular basis, but my kids also miss their friends. And while we love our family, we love hanging out with each other, we really love our community and our friends too. And want to stay engaged with that.
Yeah. So what are some of your routines going to be?
I don't know. I honestly have not even thought about it yet. I usually take it week by week, though. And what I mean is me and the kids will sit down on usually Monday mornings. Sunday's a rest day for us. I don't think about the week on Sunday. I start thinking about it Monday morning. So on Monday mornings, I sit down with them at the table during our morning time, and I say, okay, this is what we have to do this week. Here's kind of what we do have scheduled, and here's where we can be flexible. And they kind of know every week looks different. Sometimes one of them might have a camp. Two of them might have a camp. Mommy might have to come record, things like that. We might be on vacation. So we kind of just take it week by week. And I guess that's our routine if we had one. How about you?
Yeah. So my routine is weekly. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, my mom usually has Leo. So that's typically a pretty constant beat in our week. And then on the days that he is hanging out with me all day, we have our early morning time, just like what you said. And then we go straight from there to outdoor play. I've learned to go ahead and get him outside pretty much immediately. If you can. After breakfast, just go out. It's better that way. And then we'll have some kind of structured outing, and then we have rest time. So we're transitioning from nap time to rest time, and it's going pretty well. I got a pizza timer. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but the pizza timer has been a life changer for my family. We're really grateful for that because I still need that downtime. I'm an introvert. He needs a downtime. And so having that cadence and then having the afternoon completely flexible and unstructured has been really helpful. So it's like we have a morning rhythm, and then after nap, it's a wild card. It's what do we need to get done, or who are we going to go see, or are we just going to hang out and make dinner and clean? Who knows? So I like that. But having those other 2 days that I know I am going to have to be able to work and, get caught up on things has been really helpful too.
That's awesome. Well, Delise, something I actually do have time for in the summer is reading.
Nice.
And I try to get a whole list of books. There's a couple books that I do read every summer just to refresh my homeschooling brain. I always read The Core. I read The Question, or this year I want to read The Question again by Lee Bortons. I love teaching from rest because it's a good reminder as a homeschooling mom. But I really want to invest in myself and stuff. So I've been asking everybody, what are you reading this summer? So what are you reading this summer?
Right now, I have one book on my list. I'll probably add more, but I'm definitely planning to read The Lazy Genius Way. I'm excited to just dive into some more practical ways to manage my time. I just need that. I love systems. I love processes. I love mindsets, which is what she does. She doesn't necessarily try to just solve your problem. She tries to teach you how to think about a problem, and that's what I want to learn. So I'm excited about that. I'm praying that I'll be done with Leviticus by the end of the summer.
Why?
Well, I want to keep reading my Bible. So I'm still working through Leviticus. I can't even say it today. I'm about halfway through. So hopefully I'll be done with that. But guys, we do want to know what you will be reading this summer. So we would love for you to go over to our social media accounts at Blessings in Motherhood and comment. Let us know what you're reading and share with each other so we can have some really good ideas.
Yeah, and if you know a mom that would love to hear this episode, maybe be encouraged by just some of the things that we're doing differently, definitely tag her and share this episode with her.
Awesome. So thanks for listening, and we will see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Have you ever wondered how your choices can impact lives across the globe? At Classical Conversations, we believe that God uses ordinary lives to achieve extraordinary things. From bustling cities to remote villages, children are learning, growing, and praising God thanks to a classical Christian education. In 2023, we witnessed incredible growth. more than 11,000 students enrolled in CC International, and 1,750 programs launched worldwide. Today, we proudly serve over 13,000 students in 59 countries and counting. We are equipping more leaders than ever before to raise up new generations in Christ, a testament to God's hand in this movement. But the most inspiring stories are personal. An Ethiopian CC mom traversed challenging terrain for hours to lead worship at a practicum event, demonstrating the lengths moms will go to nurture their family's faith and education. In South America, a CC dad is now able to merge his love of homeschooling and his desire to open a bookstore. He is now helping CC grow in South America as he ships books to Spanish-speaking CC families. You are a part of this incredible story. When you choose Classical Conversations for your homeschool journey, a portion of your enrollment empowers families in other countries, including closed countries with repressive governments. You are actively helping these families offer their children a Christ-centered education at home. The future is bright. In 2023, we celebrated our first Challenge graduates in Brazil, Canada, and the UK. These young minds are equipped to share God's light in the world. Expect more to come. Thank you. Thank you for partnering with Classical Conversations and for playing a vital role in bringing a Christ-centered education to families around the world. Classical Conversations International. We help parents worldwide homeschool with confidence.
To know God and make Him known.
To know God and to make Him known.
Connaître Dieu et le faire connaître.
认识神，传扬神。
To know God and to make Him known.
Conocer a Dios y darlo a conocer.
Conocer a Dios y darlo a conocer.
Om God te ken en om hom bekend te maak.
Ahana ave agut ye, agus gugurter ahana
Conocer a Dios y darlo a conocer.
Kumjua Mungu na kumjulisha.
Kumanangai na kumutabanya.
Conocer a Dios y darlo a conocer.
Kumanagay na kumumanibiya.
परमेश्वर को जानना और उन्हें प्रकट करना.
하나님을 알아가고 하나님을 알리는 것.
Иметь Бога в разуме и прославлять Его.
Kumjua Mungu na kumfanya julikane.
Conocer a Dios y darlo a conocer.
Conhecer a Deus e torná-lo conhecido.
Humanya wele nende humanyisia wele.
To know God and to make Him known.